Alright, y'all know the challenge. 20 hours budget, add to the Switch. Let's get to it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? You got the Video Game Voter here, back with a brand new episode. So today's episode is going to take us back to the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, and this is going to be another episode of the $20 Switch Challenge, but this episode is going to be a little bit different. So instead of $20 still being the budget, I am aiming to get games for $10 or less. So it's going to be a series. So it's going to kind of be like trying to score for double. So let's head back over to Pittsburgh and see if we can find some scores and add to this Switch collection.
Alright, y'all know the challenge. 20 hours budget, add to the Switch. Let's get to it.
All right, guys, so you've seen some of the footage from the expo. There was a lot of inventory in there, plenty to choose from, and we actually did hit our goal. We actually picked up 2 games with our $20 budget. So let's jump to the first game, which is Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. Now, you see it was $15. I obviously haggled down to $10. Cash is always king. You can tend to do that. Worst case scenario, they're going to tell you no, but it's always worth asking. I'm just going to read the back of the case right now. It says, strap on your Proton Pack once again. Enjoy the Ghostbusters on an adventure with the original crew as you battle to save New York. It has unique gameplay, storyline campaign, and authentic Ghostbusters experience. Experience unique ghost hunting, wrangling, and trapping with upgradable weapons and wildly destructible environments. Test the team's mettle with large-scale boss fights. Play through a unique storyline as the player battles and captures ghosts, both well-loved and brand new throughout New York. Authentic Ghostbusters experience. The game features the voices and likeness of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson in an all-new story penned by the writers of the original films, Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. Which, that's pretty freaking cool. That's pretty cool that they had the original writers and the voice actors and things like that to be a part of this game. So a few things to point out with this Ghostbusters remaster game. This is a remaster of the 2009 release that came out on the 360, the PS3, and those systems from that generation. Now, this one apparently eliminates some of the multiplayer modes that was available on the original versions. So, of course, with the Switch performance issues and its lack of power, you're going to run into some things, but it's definitely not terrible. It definitely runs and plays great on the Switch. I haven't had a chance to play it myself. This is just from looking and reading reviews on the game. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing the game. And it's definitely not a bad pickup, especially not for $10 to add to the collection. And ultimately, this kind of may be the best way to play this game. Let me know down in the comment section below if you picked up this game or if you have the original that was released in 2009. Next game we picked up is Goosebumps the game. And if you guys were born around the same time that I was born, you guys know the popularity that Goosebumps had back in the late 80s, especially through the 90s. We all used to go to book fair with our money, load up on Goosebumps books, and then they actually came out with the TV show, which I believe was on Fox. That was definitely dope. But let's look into this game. Goosebumps the game. Experience the Goosebumps universe like never before. The monsters have been released from the books, and only you can stop them from wreaking havoc. Werewolves prowl through the woods, gnomes roam underfoot, and scarecrows walk at midnight. It's your job to investigate with this point-and-click adventure game and outsmart the monsters before it's too late. So as is mentioned right there, it's a point-and-click game. Now about this Goosebumps game, one thing that I noticed is early on in the game, as your character, which is like a first-person view, you walk over to this typewriter that's talking, and it is actually an ode to, I don't know if it's exactly him or if it's really his voice, or is it just an ode to the actual writer of the Goosebumps book, R.L. Stein, and kind of had like a nickname or kind of like an alias, like R.L. Steinwriter or something like that. But I thought that was kind of classy that they had the R.L. Stein, obviously. So I don't know how much he was actually involved in this game. I do know there's a couple of adaptations of the Goosebumps game on the Switch. This game seems to be pretty cool. It's obviously puzzle based. I wouldn't necessarily put it in the realm of a survival horror. A good game, especially at $10, something that you could pick up at value. And some of these games end up being guilty pleasure games for a lot of casual gamers or heavy collectors that just want to try new things out, and you can't go wrong with $10. Once again, I just want to reiterate the premise of this series. Obviously, at some point, I would love to have every Nintendo game, like complete sets of every console. And I definitely believe that the Switch in the future is going to be highly collectible. The library is insane. So that's what motivated me to kind of just pick up a ton of games while I can. We got Black Friday coming up next week, so it's going to be a bunch more games on sale. But this was the whole premise behind this, just to kind of build that collection out. And as I've said many times before, I believe that the Nintendo Switch is going to go down as the best-selling console in recent history, or in the history of gaming. And that alone is going to make it highly collectible. Not to mention the fact that it's region-free. There's so many games that wasn't released in the United States, but you can get Japanese and PAL versions of games. And I'm curious as to how that will impact the collecting of the Switch, and if it will entice people to go after worldwide sets, not just the US set that most of us are accustomed to collecting. That for those that go after complete sets, because there are a ton of games that are on the Switch that are in different regions that are great games. Not to mention, in most cases, if you put it in a US region, if your Switch is set for the US region, a lot of games will translate from whatever region that is outside of the US to put it in English. So that's a great thing. And then, not to mention, that also expands that library if you're going at the complete set. My guess that Switch currently is somewhere over 5,000 games. It's insane. And even times where I'll randomly look online, Best Buy and stuff like that, and I see games that I've never even heard of. Let me know down in the comment section below, how many Switch games do you have? I definitely want to know that. So comment below how many Switch games you have. And also I want to know, is Switch something that you feel is going to be collectible in the future? And also, what do you think about these two titles that I picked up?
Thank you for watching. Follow me on all social media platforms at VideoGameVotary.